mine? I was supposed to get one.
You didn't get the memo?
No.
Oh.
Sucks.
Yeah, well, that sucks. Morning, everyone. It is 11:18 a.m. on Thursday, February 22nd. It's 54 degrees out.
It is.
Got up to 60 the last couple days. It's been really nice.
It really does not feel like February at all. We kind of said it was going to be a fake spring last time, but it seems like it's sticking around. So.
It's absolutely beautiful outside.
It is. It really is.
It's been a good week and a half.
It has. It has.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome back to the WLC Sports Podcast, presented by The Sword, Wisconsin Lutheran College's independent student-owned newspaper. Follow both the pod and The Sword on Instagram. I'll, instead of just saying it out loud, put the actual tags in a caption right now over the video. Maybe I'll put a screenshot in too.
It's a great idea.
Really fancy. We're leveling up our game.
Absolutely.
So our guest today is August.
August Davis, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
From the men's track and field team. How's it going today, August?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. Doing great. This is an interesting opportunity. This is the first time that one of my roommates has made an appearance on the podcast. So it'll be technically Carlito was on too. For part of the Christmas special.
Yeah, but he's special because he gets a free slice of cake.
Yeah, that's true. Should we talk about why there's cake?
No.
No.
Okay.
All right.
Well, today is John's birthday.
It is. The day that we're filming, not the day that
So everyone wish him a happy birthday.
Thank you.
And
I appreciate it.
not only was today his birthday.
It's also his golden birthday.
That's true. It is also my golden birthday.
I was going to take it a different direction. I was going to say my birthday was last Wednesday.
That's true too.
So about a week from when we were filming this pod. So we figured this could just be like the birthday pod. We went and we bought some cake. So
that's right. Mm-hmm. So everybody wish Jack a happy belated birthday as well. But yes.
They don't need to do that. I got the cake.
That explains why.
That's all I need.
That explains the cake, yes, and it's pretty good cake. You know?
So if you hear like really obnoxious chewing noises throughout the pod, that's what that is.
Big shout out to the Pick and Save Bakery.
The Blue Mountain Pick and Save really hooked us up.
Disappoint.
This was only a $6 cake. I think that we got a pretty good value for what we paid.
Yeah, and they got good value. We're doing product placement now for them. So.
I'm sure the Blue Mountain Pick and Save. I'm sure they're big fans of the WLC Sports Pod.
I think they are.
All right. Without further ado, should probably dive into the agenda for today.
I would agree. It seems like a good idea. So as we mentioned, August is here from men's track and field. And my first question that I just wanted to ask you is just, what has the season been like so far? Obviously, the indoor season is kind of coming to a close. Looking forward to the outdoor season. So kind of halfway through, what has it been like so far? What does it look like? What are your experiences?
Well, so far I'd say it's been pretty good overall for the entire team. Like, seems like every week someone's breaking a school record. Either it's like Rachel and Janae doing jumps, or like Zeke doing getting some of the distance records. Obviously, everyone's progressing greatly right now, heading into conference. So I'm very excited to see how the team is going to do. I'm also pretty excited to see all the hard work I put into the season. If that's going to pay off during the conference. So overall, I think everyone's very excited, since track is obviously a very long season. Since we have 2 seasons, we have indoor and then outdoor. I think everyone is like excited for the indoor portion to end, or they can all just like switch their mindset to outdoor.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I feel like you mentioned a lot of the records being set, and we'll talk more about those in just a bit here. But also, just like, I feel like a lot of times I forget just how expansive the track team is, and just how many people are involved in like doing stuff with it. So that's always cool to see and look at. You also mentioned that you've been putting in a lot of hard work, and this is something that like a lot of the reason why we wanted to invite you on this time was because you're doing the decathlon for the first time this year. Well, it kind of started last year, but for the first time officially this year. And I just wanted you to like talk us through what's it like to do an event that's basically 10 different events. And you were even saying before the podcast, like getting to know all the different teams, all the different coaches. How has that been this year for you?
I would say definitely the best part of the season, just hanging out with all the different athletes. Because like my first 3 years, I was with the cross country team, and like I grew really close, started really good bond with all of them. And then when I switched over to doing more multis, I started becoming really good friends with like sprinters and jumpers. And then once a week I practice with the throwers, and that's been incredibly fun. Like, they all been great help, even though like I'm just learning this. Like, the throwers coach, Coach Silas, has been incredibly patient, and he is really knowledgeable in the throwing events, so he's been great help. Same with the other athletes, like Devin and Vinny, both been helping. Same with the girl throwers, Leah Schmidt and Leah, then we got Stephanie, who are all been doing really good this year. They're all been huge help. Same with the jumpers, like Rachel and Janae have been obviously helping me. Habuchi and Elijah Franklin, they started jumping, and they all, they just started, both have been doing really well. And with the hurdlers, I'm starting to like become good friends with them. They're both the both hurdlers are freshmen. Zach Tipton and Marin, they've both been really fun to practice with. And just like all out sprinters like Dane, Isaiah, Lucia, and Autumn, it's been great practicing with them as well. I forgot to mention like Caleb. It's been, like him and I will like occasionally just talk, watching him progress has helped me more. And then also my jumps coach, Coach Riley, has been really patient with me as well. She's been teaching me a lot of the little technique that goes into high jump. So having all the coaches and all the athletes help me progress has been really fun.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was like everybody on the team almost just got a shout out right there.
A lot of people
yeah, and that's just like half the team, it feels like. Yeah. There's just so many people.
Is that up there for like one of the longest answers we've ever gotten to a question on the pod?
I mean, you were just rolling. But I mean, that's what it is, right? Like we talk to a lot of other athletes, and it's like, all right, they play one sport or one position or whatever. Whereas that's part of what we were talking about. Like, you do 10 different things basically, like across 4 different areas kind of?
Yeah, so for indoor, it's the heptathlon, which is 7 events. So I'll have 2 sprinting events, 1 distance event, and then 1 throws event, and like 3 jumping events. So it definitely gets a little like confusing. Maybe I would just tell it to like a regular person. But doing all those, learning different coaching philosophies and the way they coach me and other athletes, is definitely a huge help. And I forgot to give like one last shout out, but it's like my pole vault coach.
Yeah.
He's kind of like a club. He is probably like one of the funniest coaches I ever had.
Really?
Yeah.
I did want to talk to you about pole vault because I already know this story. But for Jack and the rest of our viewers, you have a very interesting experience with pole vault. This was last year, right?
This was at outdoor conference. It was like my second time pole vaulting to meet. It was a little rainy. I don't remember what the height was, but I basically took it wasn't like a full on approach because I don't have my full like steps down. So I kind of just took like 8 steps, jumped. Next thing I know, I'm upside down. My feet hit the standard. That holds the pole, so I'm going off to the right.
Ooh.
My feet hit. When it hits, I do like a helicopter. I'm like spinning a little bit, and then next thing I know, I landed. I missed the mat completely. Like, I landed on the ground. Everyone's like shocked. I can't get back up. I'm like, let's go again. Because I was like, I know I can get this height. I just need to go again. So. Like, the officials, like all the other coaches were like worried. I'm like, guys, I'm okay. So, and then I cleared it. But the next height, I don't think I told you this story. Like, I don't know which was the next height, but a few heights later, my last attempt, I go up. Instead of kind of going up and over the bar, I go up and land straight onto the bar.
Oh.
I go up and.
Oh.
That's
not what you want. No, it's not.
That's not what you want. And then like I land, I hear like a crack. I thought it was like, I knew it wasn't my back, but the official's like, all right, we need to get a new pole because I broke the pole that you go over.
Oh, so it was actually the pole that got the bad experience here. Okay.
So
I didn't know that. You didn't tell me that.
They didn't let me keep it. I was like kind of mad.
I guess I was concerned about the wrong character in this story.
Exactly.
It was actually the pole.
But I remember you were telling me this story, and like the only frame of reference I have for pole vault is like Olympic pole vault. So I'm picturing like you're going like 30 feet in the air and just like well, not probably
like 10 feet in the air.
Yeah,
not even 10 feet.
But then you showed me that video because there's like video evidence of this, and it was like, I mean, it still looked like it would have hurt, but yeah, no. So that's kind of been your season so far, and I know that's something that you've been working really hard towards. I, as your roommate, can see that you are always at some sort of practice, one or another, every single day. But there's a lot of, as you kind of mentioned, a lot of other people on the team who have been putting in a lot of work this season as well. So even just in your last meet before our recording, which was the Panther tune-up, for the guys we had Zeke Mitchell, who beat his own school record in the mile and took second place there, and he went sub 420, which is really good. So that was really great for the guys. For the ladies, Janae Jensen had a school record at 5.49 meters for the long jump. Rachel Romans took first place in the high jump, and Emma Reese took third place in that same event. And then the 4x4 relay team for the ladies took first place, and Anna Rosh took second place in the 400 meters. So just a lot of success all around for the track team. I feel like every time we go through track, there's always at least somebody, like you said, who's got a PR or a school record or took first in an event, which is really cool to see, especially competing against a lot of different schools that other teams don't necessarily get to face. So this upcoming weekend, this will go up after this happens, but is the NACC Indoor Championships. So I guess two-part question. Take me through what are the NACC Indoor Championships going to be like, and then how does the outdoor season change for the track team in general?
Okay, so for indoor, there's going to be like less events, but there are a few different events. Like there's a DMR, distance medley relay. So you have 4 people. The first runner will run 1,200, second runner will run a 400, third runner will run an 800, and the last runner will run a mile. So that's also that's kind of like a fun event to be participated in and kind of like watch throughout. A few differences for throws. There's the weight throw instead of hammer throw, and there's no discus because indoor is just a small venue.
Right.
And if you have someone throw a discus, there's a high probability it's going to hit a runner or a spectator. That's the same thing why there's also no indoor javelin. So for indoor conference, we don't really, in the NACC, there's not really a team that like has their own indoor track, so we always have to like rent out. My first 2 years, my freshman year was COVID year, so we didn't have indoor conference, but sophomore year we had it at Ripon, same with junior year. And then this year we have it at Stevens Point, which I'm kind of excited I've never seen that facility before, so I'm curious and pretty excited to see what it's like. For outdoor, usually it's either us or St. Norbert's who host it. And this year we're hosting it. And for the differences, obviously there's some more events. Like now there's javelin, now there's discus, now there's hammer throw. And then there's the 10K for the long distance runners, steeplechase for some like the mid distance runners or longer distance runners as well. And then I think that's all the new events are added.
Gotcha. I see, yeah. I'm always confused. Jack, do you know what steeplechase is? Like if the event?
No,
okay.
No.
Because, I'm not going to describe it correctly. All I know is that at one point in steeplechase races, you go over, it's a taller hurdle too, right?
It's like the middle height for a hurdle.
Okay, so it's a middle height hurdle, and then you just jump into a pool of water on the track, and then just keep going. I'll never understand, that's really the only thing. I mean, it's like a long distance hurdle race, but then you also just jump into a pool.
And you keep going?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's just like a shallow pool. You just jump in.
So you run through the pool?
You technically jump over it, but
if you don't make it, then you land in the pool.
And the thing is,
there's a little extra incentive to make the jump now.
True, but I mean, there's also a hurdle that you have to get up over. And then over the pool.
Yeah, but
so is it all in one jump, or is it like you get over the hurdle and then take another jump?
Well, you can
the pool?
step on that hurdle too.
Usually they allow you to. I never done steeplechase.
Right.
I wish I did because I'm close to like a complete T-first pace where I complete in every event. But I'm a few events all for that. But
he's a jack of all trades.
He is.
Swiss Army knife.
So like when I watch like Zeke and like Jaden do steeplechase, you go over like 2 or 3 hurdles that are not over a body of water. So they usually just kind of go over that normally, but when they hit the one like with water, it's kind of like they step onto it and they kind of like jump over the puddle, right? But that's very hard because like you're running 3K, which is just below 2 miles. So
yeah, especially by the end of the race, like everybody's just going
one
into
one lap in, you're kind of tired. So
yeah, and then you're just going into the water for sure. But No, so yeah, really exciting things for both men's and women's track. And as August mentioned, the outdoor championships this year are hosted at the WLC track. So come on out and support when those are. Those aren't for a while, obviously, but end of the school year, come on out and support.
Warriors supporting Warriors.
Warriors supporting Warriors.
I feel like we haven't used that for a few episodes.
We haven't.
We got to get back on it.
We got to get it in, for
We've
sure.
been slacking.
Has to happen. But yeah, anything else? Any more shout-outs you need to give for track and field, or should we move on to another very successful team with both of the basketball teams?
No, I think I just got to say thank to all my teammates and coaches for supporting me and like coaching me as well.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Always love those the support shout-outs. Okay, we will transition now into the basketball teams, who are both in the midst of their NACC season tournaments. While we're recording this, by the time that this is up, I think both of those tournaments will be over. So you'll already know, most likely, what happened there. As of right now, for us, we are sitting here recording after just the first round happened. So the men's team took a big first round win against Aurora, and the women's basketball team took a win against Rockford last night. I didn't get to attend the men's game, but I did attend the women's game, and it was high intensity for sure. It was a really close game, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that they expected that, but they fought hard and they ended up on top, so that's really what matters.
It was a defensive masterclass.
It really was.
What was the final like? Only 47-42 or something like that.
It was, I think, and it was flip-flopping score and who was winning until like
was intense.
Yeah, until like the last 5 minutes or something. Like when WLC luckily broke away, but it was intense and there was a lot of back and forth. So.
Yeah, no, that was weird to see, just because I know we talked about last time about how you look at all of these scores for the women's team and they were just like crushing everyone in their path, like just putting up ridiculous totals. So it was different to see that.
It was. It really was.
And like, credit to them. Like they played a really great game. Like they made it very tough for us. So
they did. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Now I think it's interesting that both teams actually swap opponents. So the men's team plays Rockford tonight as we're recording, and then I believe women's team plays Aurora tomorrow. So interesting games there for sure. And then obviously, again, we don't know what's going to happen. I don't want to jinx anybody, but we do have to look forward to and say if both teams win, they have some potentially really interesting NACC final matchups. For the guys, if they win against Rockford, they'd play the winner of Benedictine or St. Norbert's, who are teams that they have lost to both previously in the year. So that could be a really tough matchup, even though obviously we were the number 1 seed. That could be definitely a game that is pretty intense. So that could be an interesting one. And then for the women, I believe their only loss in the regular season came to Edgewood very early on in the season. And if they do beat Aurora and get to the final, they play either St. Norbert's or Edgewood, which obviously they beat St. Norbert's earlier in the year, but it's been a rivalry kind of for the past couple of years. So this will be a very interesting weekend. Kind of wish that we were able to say more about it now, since you'll already know, but definitely some pretty high competition going on. So
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, definitely a lot of good basketball at WLC here, so that's awesome. And I think that's also showcased by D3Hoops.com named Ryan Breckel to their team of the week for, I believe, last week.
Former podcast,
exactly. So I was just
shout out to the former podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, we always have to do shout outs to the former podcasts.
I was saying, like,
so you better do something big, that way we can give you a shout out.
He asked me, he said, is there like a Madden curse for the podcast? I said, usually,
no, it's usually the opposite.
I said usually podcasts have a lot of success.
We've been pretty fortunate so far in that regard, so hopefully that keeps up.
It just so happens that we usually interview some of the best athletes.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a chicken or the egg thing, like what's actually happening here. But yeah.
But no, it's just we say this all the time. It's just a testament to the great level of athletes that we have here, and it's been really cool to kind of get to talk to a lot of different people from across different teams.
Yeah, and I'll agree with that, even as someone who doesn't like talking to people.
Exactly. We got Jack to come out of his shell a little bit.
Well, a little bit,
bit by bit.
I get to put on my pod persona.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. But I think that just about wraps it up for our conversation on basketball, unless either of you guys have anything else to say. Obviously, go check out the scores. Hopefully you went to the games. Warriors supporting Warriors, of course. But with that, I think we can move into the next couple of sports, just kind of wrap up. So first and foremost, I've put men's volleyball on the schedule next because they had a big first win of the season recently. They took a 3-1 win over Olivet, and it's really great to see those guys picking up some wins, because I know it's been a kind of rocky road since the start of the program. It's been difficult because obviously it's still very new and fresh, but to see them pick up wins, especially early on in the season, is really cool. So that's really all I had to say about men's volleyball. But I mean,
congratulations, gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm not taking away from the accomplishment at all. I think
shout out to former podcast guest Isaac Steller.
Yes, former podcast Isaac Steller.
I mean, really, at this point, we could just go through the list and say all of the former podcasts who have success.
Yeah.
You better join the list, dog. You better make it to nationals this year. It's a lot of pressure.
I don't think I can.
Wow,
believe in yourself. Believe in yourself.
Come on, confidence.
I'll have to like actually make it on the map for pole vault.
That's
not
fine.
break the.
Maybe baby steps. We gotta dream big, but set small goals along the way.
This time you will hit the mat. You won't miss.
You gotta be like the little engine that could. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can.
It's a great book.
I have not read that. Well,
I don't.
I guess it's not. I was gonna say I haven't read it since I was like 5, but I guess
I feel like that's
not really.
It's kind of the target audience.
Yeah, like I don't know of anyone who would have read that book since they were 5. So.
Yeah, well, I read it weekly. It's my little pep talk.
I low-key don't remember reading it.
Really?
Oh man, it's a classic. Yeah. Did I ever tell you that apparently when I was like 4 years old, I memorized a Jack and the Beanstalk book that we had? Because my mom would tell me that I would read the book, except I didn't know how to read.
So you just...
I had just listened to her read it to me so many times that I memorized it. So I was just like, because I wasn't even like turning the pages right with what I was saying. So apparently I memorized this Jack and the Beanstalk book, and that was just my thing. Did kids ever call you like Jack and the Beanstalk when you were a kid? Like, no, my cousin, who is, what is he, like 2 or 3 years younger than me, he used to call me Jacky Wacky.
Jack. I think I may put that as the title of this episode, the WLC Sports Podcast with Jacky Wacky and John.
Yeah, I knew I was taking a little bit of a gamble there in revealing that.
Well, I asked because when I was in kindergarten, kids would call me Johnny Appleseed, and I hated it. I despised that. I don't think I have anything against Johnny Appleseed. I don't really know anything about the guy. I just think...
Was he real, or is he like Paul Bunyan, where it was like...
It's like an urban legend.
He's like Robin Hood.
Because I know, like, it's sometimes like these people are just completely made up. Other times they were real, but none of the actual details about them were real.
I just feel like a guy named Johnny Appleseed. Like, you really think that's a guy?
Have you met a guy with the last name Appleseed?
Have you met a grown man that goes by Johnny? That's the real question.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes if you're signing up for an account somewhere with some service and they have you like filling out the fields with all your information and they have like the sample text in there, sometimes it'll be John Appleseed.
True.
For like the name, so.
But even that's John. He
true. Well, that's his professional name, John Appleseed.
John Appleseed.
Was he the one who wore like the pot on his head?
I think so. But what was the point of that? Was there a reason?
I don't know. It helps him stand out, I guess. Like you see a guy with a pot on his head, you're like, oh, there goes John Appleseed.
Real or fake?
I never heard about this.
Johnny Appleseed? Like, you've never heard of him?
I heard of Johnny Appleseed, not of the pot.
He was a real person, according to Britannica. He was a real person. His name was John Chapman. So that's already a lie.
Well, that doesn't mean people still could have called him Johnny Appleseed.
Well, sure. Oh, JSTOR. This is how we know it's real.
Oh, yeah. Use the academic catalog.
He looks like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. He's a weird guy. Let's see.
Maybe
We learn as children that Johnny Appleseed spread the gospel of the apple throughout the Midwest. That's what it says.
the gospel of the apple.
The gospel of the apple. That is what it says.
Sounds a little bit heretical, if you ask me.
Johnny Appleseed mythology ignores the cultish Swedenborgism and the eccentricity of dress, wandering, and homelessness.
That's not the book I remember.
I didn't know he was a cult leader.
You know?
I just thought he liked apples a lot.
Like it's cut down like
Is he like the,
trees.
is he like the Pied Piper, kind of? What is Swedenborgism?
Yeah, what is Borgism?
We're going down all kinds of rabbit holes here.
Do we want to look it up?
Yes.
All right.
How about you look it up and I can take over going through the agenda?
Well, the next thing is men's tennis, so I feel like
I can do baseball instead.
Yeah. You talk about baseball.
Yeah, you're gonna get to the bottom of this.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about baseball a little bit.
Yeah.
So WLC baseball is opening up their season earlier than usual. Our first games are going to be this weekend from when we're recording this, so the 24th and the 25th, Saturday, Sunday. Those games will already be over by the time you're watching this. But we are taking a trip to Southern Illinois. We're going to be playing 3 games in Jacksonville over those 2 days. We're kicking off against Illinois College. Then we're playing Simpson, doubleheader on Saturday for those 2 games. And then we're going to finish with a noon game against Blackburn on Sunday. And then we're coming back to Wisconsin to turn around and then go on another trip to Illinois the following weekend. But be interesting to see what happens with those first few games. I know it's pretty common knowledge that last year did not go well in any regard. So, hoping for a little bit of improvement there. But, do you find anything yet?
As far as I can tell, Swedenborgism is some sort of cult. So I'm a little worried to talk about this. I feel like the Appleseedians are gonna come attack us.
There's a whole underground gathering of Johnny Appleseed followers.
This is the final episode of the podcast.
Do you think they have just a big statue of him or something that they?
Wait, he's
Probably. There was also something about his weird overalls, and I don't know. I stopped being interested. It was just long paragraphs of jargon, and I was just I don't feel like we really need to educate our viewers on Johnny Appleseed that much.
Where's the other base? Because he said baseball is going to Jacksonville, Illinois. Where's our other trip at in Illinois?
Then we're going to be playing in Rantoul the next weekend.
Okay.
So.
Because I'm from near Jacksonville. So
Oh,
I was,
nice.
He's Springfield.
I see.
Home of Lincoln.
Yeah, home
Nice.
of Lincoln. I traveled down to visit Og at his home, and we got to see all of the Lincoln stuff.
Okay.
So it was very.
Are there any sites I should try to see in the area while we're down there? Because it's a whole weekend trip. We'll be staying the night a couple nights.
In Jacksonville, there is a little park where I used to have cross country meets at. You can run around the world's first Ferris wheel.
Wow.
Okay, I might have to try that.
That's
All right.
about it.
Very
It's
nice.
actually right by Illinois College.
Oh, really? Okay. Wow. That's that is very convenient.
That's what you got to do.
I'll have to try that. But
It's
yeah,
not that big.
I would tell everyone to come out and support, but it's on the road.
Yeah.
So
Well, support in your hearts. WLC.
can be there in spirit.
Yeah. Cheer on the
Yeah.
baseball team. I did look, and the softball team also is starting beginning of March, but they're a little bit away still. So I didn't put them on the schedule, but just be aware that they are also starting up their season very shortly, and they can be in your hearts as well.
Yeah. We don't want them to think we forgot them. We'll
Right.
talk about them when
Of course.
when they start as well. So
Of course. And then the final thing that we have to talk about is men's tennis, who we have started our season, although not our conference season quite yet. So this past week we had 2 matches. We played against Ripon, where we took a 9-0 victory. We swept them, which was great as a team, especially because we had some people out as well, so our lineup looked a little bit different. And then we played against Wartburg, and we took a tough loss. It was 4-5, so we were right there. But there were a lot of really promising matches. We had almost every single person went to a tiebreak. And a lot of people were down at the beginning, came back, and then ended up winning their matches. So even though we took a loss as a team, there were a lot of really good individual wins and a lot of kind of promising things looking towards the future, again, because people were playing in spots higher than they usually do, which was cool. So played against both of those teams, and that went well. We this week have a match against, I believe, McHenry County College, something like that. I probably should know their actual full name, but
You're the one who puts together these agendas. I'm surprised you didn't have that in.
well,
And you're on the team.
Yeah, that too. It's really dropping the ball.
The thing is, when I get to the men's tennis portion of the agenda, unless we have a guest for tennis, I'm like, well, I already know. I play.
But you don't know.
Evidently, I don't.
Yeah, you got 2 continents.
Well, listen, I may not know the exact name of the school, but I know we're going to take a dub. So
We'll see how that ages.
hopefully well. And you'll be able to check on
You'll be able to find out.
You'll be able to check on the WLC Sports website.com.
WLCsportswebsite.com.
Yeah.
Is that? I wonder if that's a real domain. Should I
feel
try
like
to go to
you
that?
should not try to go to that.
I'm going to do it right now.
You're going to download a virus.
Well, you know what?
Blocked by just the Swedishborgism.
Yes. Swedenborgism. They're going to find you. It's actually a cover.
All right, so what is WLC Sports website?
Website.com. Maybe throw in a Weebly in there.
.weebly.com. This site can't be reached. Check if there is a typo in WLCsportswebsite.com. Yeah, so it doesn't exist.
There is a typo in the entire word website.
Well, that's okay.
Okay.
But anyway, if we are done now talking about everything that we needed to get through on the agenda, I do want to touch on one final topic.
Of course.
I have been told that August is a fellow Mario Super Sluggers enthusiast.
I am.
Anyone who knows me knows that Mario baseball is my life. So, I think we could benefit from a quick Mario baseball discourse.
Okay.
How long have you been playing Mario baseball?
Well, I got the game when it came out,
Very nice.
but I started playing it again in college
Oh, wow. Okay.
with my friends back in Springfield. We got bored one night, so we hey, let's draft a team and play Mario Super
Yeah,
Sluggers.
yeah.
I won the league.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
He cheats at every game.
Okay, so all right. So what did your team look like?
I had Firebro, PD,
Okay.
Daisy, Mario. I think I have the list.
Oh, there we go. Okay. I want to hear too, which position you had all these characters playing.
His team is stacked. I've played against this team before, and his team
Because
is
I know
stacked.
I know the draft
And then,
team.
well, you draft a team, but then the problem was you drafted against your friends, so then you just kept the same team, and then I was forced to pick the garbage characters, and I was.
Oh, see, usually when I play, I let whoever I'm playing against draft their entire team first, so
you're
that I'm
smart.
not
You're not
because I've become so experienced I can win with
Right,
any
I
team.
had my team.
Okay.
So I had Birdo as my captain.
Okay.
Then I had Daisy, PD, Luigi, Firebro, Blue Yoshi, Mario, Diddy Kong, and Boo.
Okay.
Okay, that's not that stacked of a team. They're
Okay.
good.
I went 10-4.
Okay, I see. So how did you usually line up in the field? Do you remember?
Not really, honestly.
Oh, okay.
I just know I had Firebro at third base.
Yeah,
Because-
Firebro's a good third baseman, man.
Because I don't watch baseball a whole lot.
Ah, okay.
So one of the players who I know is Nolan Arenado, but I did not pronounce Arenado.
Yeah, he's a Cardinals fan, by the way.
So I pronounced his last name as Oregano by accident.
Oh, okay.
So I got a cool play with Firebro. I said, "Oh, that's Nolan Oregano," and my friend was really upset at me for saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be pretty upset about that too.
He,
Yeah.
since then, has called him Oregano. And the worst part is, whenever I play him, Oregano hits at least one home run because he's a great hitter. So I close my eyes at night and I see Oregano's face.
Yeah.
It's the
Well,
worst thing.
Firebro was
I'm aware.
I think
he's up there for MVP status.
I'm aware.
You put him at third base or in corner outfield too. I used to
Yeah.
play him in the corner outfield a lot. He was good out there.
Well, all I know is any Nintendo game that you play, any competitive Nintendo game, whether that's Mario Super Sluggers, Mario Kart sometimes, but the worst
not
is
the
Mario.
worst.
It is the worst. Mario Party 1, the original for the N64.
Ooh.
Og has this thing. I don't know if it's he's in alignment with the Swedishborgisms or whatever, but he has this way of everything goes his way.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does, and it's the worst thing ever. And we have just this running joke that behind the scenes, there's a hacker who is who's always on his side.
I see.
It's terrible.
So I have won 10 times in a row. Probably
a lot of times.
A lot of times in a
A lot
row.
of times.
But there have been instances where I lose because there's
Those are
a thing
good
called
days.
chance time. And
Yeah, sometimes he gets unlucky.
during chance time, you can lose all of your stars, like all of your coins, and you can switch it to whoever it picks. So our other roommate was in last place, and I was in first place.
This is Matt Bass, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Had you ever played Mario Party before?
I only have Mario Party 8 for the Wii.
Okay, that's a good one. So, you know when you win a mini game, you get coins.
Yeah.
I had 180 something coins, and then Matt had like literally 0 coins. He lands on chance time, gets coin swap. So now I have 0 coins. He has 180 coins, and he wins.
And he won the game.
Wow.
It was like the last turn. But yeah, we've had some very competitive Wii and really just Nintendo throughout the ages.
Oh, yeah.
I think at this point we've covered every console, right? We've played
GameCube, yeah, GameCube.
We've now played GameCube, so we've done N64, GameCube, Wii U, Switch. We've also dived into 3DS a little bit too. So
Nice.
first, we start with pick and save product placement, and then we end
Now
with
it's Nintendo.
Yeah.
Have you ever played GameCube Mario Baseball?
Yeah, I have.
That is a whole different animal.
That's like it's completely different.
Oh, it's harder too. Like so the competitive environment and landscape of the game.
It's much different.
It's just completely different. Like nothing translates from the Mario Super Sluggers to Mario Superstar Baseball.
The competitive landscape and environment of the game is really a big selling point.
No, we were talking before. I think it'd be fun if me and Og played each other at Mario Super Sluggers.
As an extra little.
Did we play it all? We played it like twice last year.
We haven't played. Well, we started playing with all Miis. We would just make like random Miis, and then we would just like draft them. But the Miis are terrible. So like it ended up.
The Miis all just have like average like middle of the road
but
stats.
they're good pitchers because you can't really time it. Cause if you just like drift low to the right or right curve left.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like a grounder every time.
Oh yeah, that's.
So it's just like the most random Mii that will hit like a
home run.
home run, and then that's the game. Like it's 1-0 every time.
Yeah, if you're playing multiplayer, you got to pick a pitcher who gets like just the right amount of break where they're gonna miss the barrel, but it's still a strike. Like that's. Okay, final question. If you had to pick one player, who would you say is the best player in Mario Baseball? Like in Mario Super Sluggers?
I'd say PD.
It's an interesting choice.
I would argue PD as well. PD's a good fielder. PD's a great hitter.
If you stick PD like in the corner outfield, the dive plays really well.
I have him at second base.
Oh, okay.
Like a lot of times, the ball just goes straight through the middle. I just dive.
Yeah, right. He does have one of the better dives in the game.
Yeah.
The only dive that I would argue is better is Critter.
Critter is good for no reason. It doesn't look like it's good.
Critter is my pick.
Critter has a good arm too.
Critter is my pick for like the best player in Mario Super Sluggers, especially if you're going like position players. Like the dude is the best shortstop in the game. I think 1 year when I was like having him as my regular shortstop, he hit like 200 home runs. Like it was
even if I don't necessarily agree that he's the best, I would say he's one of the most underrated.
He's definitely like top 3 non-captain.
If you get like the Critter at shortstop, King K. Rool at first base, like you're set. Because then he's got it. Then like with the chemistry, cannon arm at shortstop, amazing defense, catches everything. Like
also has a good dive, Shy Guy.
He
just lays on the ground, but
I know. Well, usually like in the middle infield, I'd like to line it up. You got Critter at shortstop, Shy Guy at second base, King K. Rool at first, Firebro at third. Like you're set.
Yeah.
That is a very good infield. Like that is.
Have you watched Chiz plays?
I have seen him, but I can't stand it because he just screams all the time, and that's not my kind of content.
He does yell.
Yeah.
John and I will watch him sometimes.
Yeah, we got really into him last year. We were just watching the Sluggers content.
Yeah.
All right.
We should probably cut this off before it keeps going any longer.
We really should.
But yeah, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We had some amazing discourse about WLC sports and Johnny Appleseed and Mario Baseball and fracturing poles and Swedenborgism. Yeah. And there was cake.
There was cake. Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that'll wrap it up for this episode.
I would argue that this was one of our more thrilling episodes, and
in a
hot minute.
Sure, everybody was on the edge of their seat.
Yeah.
I think everyone was on their sheet about the Swedish Borg.
We have now introduced everyone to the world of Swedenborgism. If you would like to research that more, do so at your own risk. We are not liable for anything that could possibly happen. Don't join the Johnny Appleseed cult, though. That's not. We don't want that to happen to you.
Yeah.
But until next time, thank you for watching. Take care.
Do we just never mention the cake? We could just.
No, we'll just.
How about like after like of every sport we switch like product, like instead of cake, next we have this plastic plates. Then we have like the
Everyone just has a
cardboard
fork.
bags. Everyone has a fork.